special, so bright and full of merry glee, where Edison's optimisms hung like tinsel, sparkling on the Christmas tree.
I'm dreaming of a Christmas special where Helen's swooning warms the heart and Sinclair's glooming chills the eyes. In our rum nogs on this festive night,
I'm dreaming of a Christmas special where we don't fight until we scream.
good luck.
We'll watch 3 holiday movies and love everything about them. Doubtful. Oh, what a Yuletide dream.
Been singing in a white Christmas. Arnold's jingling all the way. Our fave elf buddies joyful cheer.
Our Christmas
episode is here.
Well, listeners, welcome to Talk Movie to Me's 7th annual Christmas special.
Woo! Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, hope you got a drink in your hand. I'm
'Cause
Helen.
we're drinking. I'm Ms Sinclair.
And I'm Edison, and we are so happy that you're here with us today for this very special episode. We love these episodes. They are something that we always look forward to. And you know, we like to get a little merry. What are you knocking back there, your cup of cheer tonight, Sinclair?
Well, I'm actually channeling the Big Lebowski, and I'm drinking a White Russian.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't have any eggnog, so I couldn't actually make a rum nog, and I wanted something kind of creamy and sweet. So White Russian it is.
Love that. How about you, Helen?
I've got just your classic rum nog here, spiced rum. Yeah. What about you, Eddie?
I am drinking an artisan, authentic, freshly pressed winter cider from Bulwark Ciders here in Nova Scotia.
Is it good?
It's extremely good, actually. Yeah, it's really nice.
Does it have like clovey notes
yes.
to it? Nice.
Is it artisan or artisan?
Listen, I've also had a bottle of wine and 2
I've
beers.
never
so
heard anyone say artisan.
it's artisan tonight.
I
It's
think
like
we were
microwave
trying to say
microwave.
Well, yes, but it's only microwave henceforth. All right, so tonight we are going to be featuring, as per usual, 3 holiday films to set the mood. And first up, we are taking a nostalgic trip down memory lane to explore a timeless classic that is synonymous with the holiday season, and that is White Christmas from 1954. This film is directed by Michael Curtis, who is the Oscar-winning director of Casablanca. And this festive extravaganza is more than just a movie. It is a celebration of joy, love, camaraderie, and the true spirit of Christmas. Set against a backdrop of snow-covered landscapes and extravagant musical numbers, White Christmas tells the story of two army buddies, that's Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, who become a successful song and dance duo after World War II. They team up with a singing and dancing sister act, and that's Rosemary Clooney and Vera Ellen, to save their former commanding generals failing in. This Christmas classic is a tale of romance, camaraderie, and the magic that happens when friends come together during the most wonderful time of the year. All right, so what do you both think this film has to say about Christmas?
Not much.
Agreed.
Oh my God.
Well, no,
100%
I don't
agree, Helen.
I don't mean that in like a catty way, but just it's not actually that Christmassy of a movie. I would say that it says that it should snow on Christmas, I think is one of the prominent messages of White Christmas is that the Christmas should be white.
But
Oh,
none of
wow.
us want snow. Okay, I have to drive this holiday season. Like, I don't need a white Christmas.
Wow,
I don't
Sinclair.
want icy roads. No.
Well, then stay inside and have more rum nogs because we do want a white Christmas. Are you mad?
I want
Yeah,
a
I
white
want a
Christmas
white
after I've
Christmas.
done my traveling.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so here's what I will say. At one point, one of you sent a message, a text to our group, and you were like, there's no Christmas here. Oh,
That
no,
was
no,
me.
there is.
Yep.
But I actually think that this film, I mean, there's a reason why it's a Christmas classic, and it's not just the song White Christmas. I think it really speaks to the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah.
When you think about what Christmas is about, other than, okay, it can be about all kinds of things. Obviously, it's a religious holiday about Jesus Christ. It's about, commercialism and stuff, and we'll talk about that later.
Really
But
selling it, Edison.
Yeah, but this film is about the Christmas spirit, like helping others, tradition and nostalgia. This film incorporates all kinds of traditional Christmas elements, including the song White Christmas, obviously. It evokes the sense of nostalgia. Helping others is about the Christmas spirit. On Sunday, I told you both this already, but when I arrived home and my grandmother, she has dementia and she is largely immobile, and so she's at home most of the time. She's not really able to go to her church, and like a dozen of the elderly people from her church came to the house in their little Christmas hats and like for 30 minutes sang Christmas carols to her. It was like, have a holly jolly Christmas. It wasn't, churchy necessarily, but it was the spirit of Christmas, helping others and having concern for people. And that's what this story is. The whole plot revolves around their efforts to help their former general.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's, a lot of themes about the war in this too. And this song, White Christmas, was a big hit amongst the troops because it brought them together and it actually made them, even though it's kind of a sad song, it's kind of a reflective melancholy song, it made the troops think of home and wanting to be home. And I guess that they would always request this song to hear. And you see that in the film with Bing Crosby singing this song to the troops.
I think that the best songs, the best Christmas songs, I had this conversation the other day with a different friend. Like, the best Christmas songs are sad. My favorite song, Christmas Baby Please Come
Baby,
Home,
Please
Darling
Come Home,
Love.
yeah.
Like, it's sad. Like, even Last Christmas, my least favorite Christmas song of
Yeah.
all, is still kind of sad and has been hugely popular. Like, I think there's some part of sort of like longing or nostalgia or melancholy around the holidays for a lot of people. People connect to that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to answer that question more seriously of what does this have to say about Christmas, it is that sense of camaraderie and like all coming together and being there for one another. And I think, of the three movies that we have on this Christmas special, I think that this one does have the most sincere, heartfelt message of like when we all come together to lift each other up. That is more important than any gift, obviously. And I will say I did tear up when the general came out at the end and his
Me too. Ugly crying. And it's
Yeah.
like so I'm not remotely like military connected.
no, but it
that's not
didn't
a
feel that
thing.
way. It felt just like support and like when everyone comes together to support someone
Yeah.
when they're down.
There's a lot of respect for people that fought in the war. in this film for sure. One thing I'll bring up is that we did this movie because one year we did Holiday Inn for the Christmas special, which is my favorite Christmas movie. And the song White Christmas originates from that movie. Bing Crosby sings the song in Holiday Inn. It won an Oscar for Best Song, and it was such a hit that they decided to make a whole movie surrounding the song White Christmas.
Yeah.
I have to say, Holiday Inn is still, I think, superior because I think it has a stronger story. It has a real love triangle with actual tension. And for me, really, White Christmas is about Bing Crosby's voice and the costume design. I think that the story in this is a little bit dull and it doesn't fully work for me for where it goes. But ultimately, this film is such a spectacle that's what makes it enjoyable to watch. It's kind of a feast for the eyes.
Oh my God.
The costume design is out of this world.
Yeah.
So is that what made you merry about this film, Sinclair?
I would say yes. The costume design, definitely. There's a moment when Rosemary Clooney comes out in the most beautiful green velvet dress that
it's so beautiful.
It just was. My mouth was agape. Just so beautiful.
Yeah, Edith Head was the costume designer for this, and Miss Edith has been nominated for an astonishing 28 Oscars and has won 12 of them. 12.
Oh, incredible.
Damn.
She was the costume designer for a few films you may or may not have heard of, like Roman Holiday, All About Eve, The Sting, Sabrina, also To Catch a Thief, Funny Face, The Ten Commandments. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Bing Crosby's voice is another thing that made me quite merry. It's just like butter. I love listening to his voice. He's my favorite part of Holiday Inn too. I just think he's wonderful. I just love watching Bing Crosby and listening to him sing.
And even just his face, like, I'm from a very small town in rural Nova Scotia, a steel town. There's a blue-collar town where everybody works in the steel plant, and he just looks like all the men of that age in my town. Like, he does not look like a movie star.
Yeah.
At all. But he does have this voice and this charisma that's
Very
just undeniable.
charismatic. Yeah.
Yeah. What made you merry, Helen?
Honestly, the song and dance numbers.
Yeah.
I thought that they were so fun and so incredibly choreographed. And I think that that's something that...
I mean, there is a number called choreography. That was funny.
But the dancing was actually... It was really wonderful to watch. And I feel like in a lot of, modern movie musicals, the dancing isn't always showcased and highlighted in the way that it was here. And I know that Vera Ellen was very much a dancer and very much not really a singer. And so they really highlighted her as a dancer, whereas Rosemary Clooney could sing really well, but she couldn't really dance. And so I think, I read something that I think Rosemary's voice was actually used a little bit in Vera Ellen's singing for some of the scenes. And then there was just actually quite a bit of comedy in this movie. Like, I thought it was really funny. I loved the dynamic between Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby. I thought they were really funny together. I liked watching them play off of each other.
Even their little, drag moment was fun. It was
really
fun.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was mocking, really, in any way. It was heartfelt and just kind of fun. But yeah, those production numbers were insane. And the production in general, like the sets, the set decoration as well was by Sam Comer and Grace Gregory, both who have had extremely successful careers. But Sam especially, another legend in Hollywood. Like, we've got big hitters here. He is a 22-time Oscar nominee and a 4-time Oscar winner for his sets, including other epic films like Vertigo, Breakfast at Tiffany's, also To Catch a Thief and Funny Face, and your fave Sinclair, Sunset Boulevard. So doesn't really get much more iconic than the creative team who is behind, how this film looks, which is absolutely what made me merry. Like, it is a feast for the eyes. Gorgeous, so extravagant. I loved it. And that is also kind of the spirit of Christmas, extravagance.
Did you also notice too that the beginning, it's like filmed in VistaVision?
I saw that it was the very first film in Vista to be filmed.
So
that's
I
right.
noticed that when it came up right away. I was like, okay, cool. VistaVision, usually it's like CinemaScope, but Yeah, basically, it was the first film filmed in VistaVision, and that was like Paramount's new projection that created like really sharp images and like a richer color. And at the time, films were competing with television. And so they needed to really like widen the look of film and make it sharper and more stunning and really have that distinguishable quality between television and film.
I love that. That's really cool. Sinclair, always bringing the knowledge even when we're drunk on Christmas.
I have one other thing I want to say that made me merry. I have grown up hearing my Auntie Luann, listener of the podcast, sing the Sisters song.
Yes.
Because she has two sisters, my Auntie Colette and my mother. And she would sing, "Sisters, never were they such adoring sisters." Yes. And I never knew what that was from, and now I know.
Yeah. Don't be the man that comes between the sisters.
Yeah, right.
All the songs were good. Even like, when I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep.
What a good motto.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, was there anything that made us grinchy about this film?
Not
really. I feel like you're looking at me. As soon as you say Grinch, your eyes just dart over to me.
You're the only Grinch in this crew.
That's true. Okay, one thing that did make me feel Grinchy, other than the kind of boring plot, but the character of Phil is clearly gay. Like, he's clearly gay. And he can't just be a gay character. You know?
That's interesting.
There has to be all these, like, kind of, like, hidden things, like, he's, like, a matchmaker. You know? He doesn't really want to marry Vera Ellen. And he's like, I just need you, Bing Crosby, to go find a girl so I can skedaddle for 45 minutes. And, like, what's he doing in 45 minutes? Like, you know, kind of like I can sneak out and, like, do what I want. And it just felt like he was a gay character and they just couldn't let him be gay.
I mean, that choreography number is so camp. That's so gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, totally. White Christmas.
You two had nothing Grinchy?
No, not really.
Really? Neither of you had nothing Grinchy? You think White Christmas is a perfect film?
Okay, I don't think it's a perfect film, but there wasn't anything that I was like, I have a problem with this. Not really.
Y'all are soft.
Okay. The only thing really that like made me grinchy about this film was like my own the green monster of envy, because I would of course love to own this beautiful little inn and those big productions.
I
like
know.
I need another drink.
Sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. Never had to have a chaperone, no sir.
Now it's time to head to the North Pole to meet Buddy, played by funny man Will Ferrell. Buddy is a stowaway baby who, via Santa's present bag, made his way to the famous toy shop where he grew up believing he was an elf. When the truth is revealed that Buddy is in fact human, his merry world is thrown into an existential crisis. With the encouragement of Santa and his merry little friends, he makes his way to the Big Apple in search of his father, who is unfortunately on Santa's naughty list. There, Buddy learns that the real world isn't as joyous and giving as his holiday home. It's selfish, work is hard, and there are more than a few Scrooges in his path. Will Buddy show his father the true meaning of Christmas? Will he survive the cynicism of the big city? Our next film is Elf, from 2003, directed by Jon Favreau. Okay, so what's everybody drinking for Elf? What are we drinking now?
I'm on my second rum nog. I'm sticking with rum tonight.
Okay.
I'm having another cider, but this is my last one, and so then we'll see what's next. What about you, Sinclair?
Well, I'm drinking an Aperol Spritz.
Ooh, yum.
Oh.
One of my favorite cocktails.
Yeah,
that's kind
summer
of
in
elfish.
December.
Yeah, it's
and sprightly, you know.
It's sprightly, exactly. Okay, so when I started watching Elf, and I was just getting all these, like, you know, we jokingly call it elf-exploitation.
Elf-exploitation.
Yeah, because I was getting all these flashbacks, and I'm like, have we done Elf before for a Christmas special? But then I realized that it was Rudolph, the claymation movie that we did, where they were exploiting the elves. But I was kind of getting that from the beginning of this movie. I also realized that I haven't seen Elf. I don't think
Which
I've
is
seen
crazy.
Elf.
That's
shocking. Crazy, Sinclair.
In my head, I thought I had seen Elf because I'm like, yeah, Zooey Deschanel, Will Ferrell, of course I've seen it. And then watching this, I was like ringing zero bells.
That's wild.
But I did laugh because, they're all...
It's funny?
It's funny, but they're all working in, Santa's workshop, and he's like, yay, we finished. And they're like, yay. And then Santa's like, and now we can start working on next year's present.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, boo. And I thought the elves were going to be like, aw. But instead, they're like, yay. And I thought, wow, that is like capitalist slave morality at its finest. I just was like, these elves are working for free. For sure.
Oh, Sinclair.
I just
Only
couldn't deal with it. Like, who's going to be that happy to be making toys for free? Like, no.
Magical elves.
Elves, Sinclair. Fucking elves. That's who.
I can't get behind it. But anyway, yeah.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. They're elves.
Sinclair thinks there should be a union for elves.
I mean, come on. Like they're going to be like, yay, let's start work again. No.
They're elves.
That
even
is their
elves
purpose
need
in
a
life.
day off, Santa. Like,
Well, maybe
fuck.
they have summers off.
It didn't sound like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. What did this film have to say about Christmas?
That singing spreads Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
And I think it's true because this weekend, Justin and I sang Christmas songs for a little Christmas block party, and it did spread cheer.
Yes, it does.
And it spread cheer in my own heart singing those songs.
That's what's most important, Helen.
Yeah, my happiness, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, singing
it's
about
true.
Christmas cheer. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I think that
Edison.
I think that this film speaks to childlike wonder. I think that Buddy and Will Ferrell, frankly, like largely embodies that, and he's like kind of the perfect actor for this because he's so good at that. But that childlike innocence and wonder is really at the heart of Christmas, right? Everything is exciting and magical and joyful, and that's just how he sees the whole world.
Okay.
Sinclair,
Okay.
what did this
so we
teach
have
you about Christmas?
Singing about Christmas and childhood wonderment. Okay. Well, aside from capitalism, slave morality, I would say this movie and many Christmas movies are about busy working dads being fucking assholes.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think
Come
his
on.
dad was really that much of an. Let's be real.
How many
If
movies,
somebody,
Edison,
Sinclair,
how
if
many
a gro-
Christmas movies are about the father working too hard, being workaholics, and they're fucking assholes? Let's count them right now.
all of them. It's
Literally
a trope,
all
we
of
know.
them. Family Man.
Except for Miracle on 34th Street, the mom is the one that's working.
The
too hard.
mom's being the fucking workaholic asshole.
That's
okay,
women's
well, you know
rights.
what? Moms need to work. Sorry. The Santa Claus, is he
Yeah.
not like a
He
workaholic
is.
dad? Okay, Santa Claus. Family Man, Santa Claus. We have our next movie, which we won't reveal yet, but that's also a dad. That's a workaholic. Mm-hmm. Elf.
But here's another thing that this film has to say about Christmas. That's a trope that is used to talk about the importance of family and belonging. That's this film. It's important, this sense of family, his journey to reconnect with his father. It's highlighting that idea that Christmas is about coming together with
Yeah.
loved ones.
Yeah, so true meaning of Christmas, don't be an asshole dad. And second,
Sure.
I'm going to put a little positive spin on things. This movie is about finding your place in the world and your purpose, and big or small, you can make a difference. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Sinclair.
Yeah. Why don't you drink
Your
that down
your little
with the side
Grinch
eyes?
heart. It just got a bit bigger.
It just
That's
grew
right.
3 sizes.
Yeah. Even Buddy
Still,
found
it's
his
now
place,
it's about
you
the
know?
size of a shriveled apricot, but you're on your way.
But no, it's true. Like in the beginning, they say like everyone has their own special talents, and they're just placating him at that point. But
But then
then
he
when he-
finds it.
But then he finds it. Yeah.
Does he though? What is it?
Spreading Christmas cheer to
I don't know.
humans
Edison,
on
he
Earth.
saves Christmas. Like Will Ferrell saves Christmas, and he does a dance to "Whoop There It Is." Like that's enough.
And what more do you need?
I have
okay.
to say though, this movie's such a delight.
Like, what made you merry about it, Helen?
I think that Will Ferrell's so perfect as Buddy.
Yeah.
Because he's so genuine. Like there's no malice behind this at all. It's not sarcastic. It's not like he truly is just like a child in an adult elf body.
No, I agree, Helen, so much. Like Will Ferrell.
He actually reminded me of you, to be honest.
Oh.
In the
thank you.
lovely way where like you just see the silver lining in everything and you're so positive and optimistic.
You do look
and that's
for the
how
silver lining. Yeah,
that's how Buddy is. And I was like watching the whole time, I was like, oh, Buddy's like Edison. Like you're not a
Oh, I
child,
love that.
but
I mean, you
very
do try to
positive.
cuddle. Like you do try to cuddle, for sure. That's true.
I think like what worked for me about this is exactly Will Ferrell too. Like in general, the comedy of this. It's yes, the story is this very kind of predictable fish out of water scenario we've seen, but that's a common narrative because it works.
It does, and I feel like the fish out of the water, depending on the character, is generally always kind of different.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And this film had a real like slapstick quality of comedy that he's so good at, and that also works with the fish out of water in this context of his story. And like you say, he's just kind of good, and it's so sincere that I don't really know who else could play this. There's a lot of other comedians, but like everybody else has maybe an edge, or there would be some type of like subversion element or just whatever, but he's just so...
He's just pure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. His inner child is like so close to the surface that it works.
I feel like
for
Andy
this.
Samberg could have also been.
Yeah.
Elf.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be hot elf.
Yeah.
He is so hot. Oh my god.
I read a cool little tidbit about Elf that I guess Will Ferrell, Jon Favreau, and a camera operator for a lot of the scenes that are just in the streets of New York, there was actually just 3 people, those 3 running around the streets, like asking people if they could pay them cash to like do a little scene. So like when he's getting his shoes shined, those weren't extras. It was just like them going through New York being like, hey, can we give you however much money to shine Will Ferrell's shoes and you'll sign a release?
That's so cool.
I know. And it does, I think something too that really works for this movie is that there are those genuine feelings of New York City, which is one of my favorite things about a lot of Christmas movies from my childhood. That is sort of how I became familiar with New York, and I like idolize New York City in my mind.
New York screams Christmas. We've seen it. Yeah, it's so true.
But New York does feel really genuine in this movie, and that's you know, part of why it does, I think.
Okay, I'll tell you what made me merry.
Okay, what was it, Sinclair?
I liked Grumpy James Caan.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, there you
he
go.
was good.
I really like seeing him. He's always such a pleasure. And I also love that. I thought it was so funny that he's trying to cut costs by removing pages of children's books.
Yeah.
He's like,
Like,
they're
they
not
won't
going to
even
notice. And I was like, yeah.
understand. Yeah.
He
That
was a
is pretty
businessman.
funny.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it. All right.
He worked for me too because he's also able to play that character is just kind of, you know, he's workaholic businessman, New York dad, but then he also does have a bit of warmth, just a bit that you can tell is under the surface, and it works for sure.
But nothing saccharine about it, nothing that
At
feels
all.
forced.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything Grinchy on that list there, Sinclair?
Yeah. Grinchy for me, honestly, Zooey Deschanel as a blonde. Didn't love it. Didn't
Yeah.
love it. She's definitely like a dark-haired kind of gal to me.
Right. Yeah.
The blonde hair didn't work for me.
Do you want to know why her hair was blonde?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Sure.
Because she had just filmed a movie where she needed to have blonde hair. It never ended up being released, but when she auditioned, her hair was blonde, and then she was going to go back to brunette, but then they were like, well, no, we liked you as a blonde. We want you to be blonde for this movie.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's why.
It did
Well,
give her kind of like an
the more
old
you know.
Hollywood look.
Old Hollywood, and
For
it
sure.
also, it does brighten her a little bit because I think her as a
really-
brunette with her dry humor, I think could almost be maybe too sarcastic for the movie. I don't
Well, no such thing, but
know. Okay.
She does have a gorgeous voice, obviously.
yeah, I kind of like that she sang.
Yeah, I did too. I
Yeah.
did too.
If you two can't think of something Grinchy, I swear I'm done. I'm not even going to do the next movie. Like, come on.
I can't.
You can be
I
critical on
can't.
Christmas. Like, please. As a Christmas gift to me, just please say something that you didn't like.
Okay,
As
okay,
a
okay.
gift to me, it's Christmas.
Okay.
I have two things, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, Helen, you start.
One is that at the beginning of the movie, when they say, like, there's the narration, and they're like, the elves, like, purpose in life is, and I really hoped they would have said to be a dentist as a nod to the Rudolph claymation.
And I think
Or
that
stop motion.
there are nods to that, because even at the end of the movie, there is the shot of like the claymation looking snowman,
Yes,
and then
totally.
you know
Yeah.
there's like the monster that comes out of the water.
Yeah.
I
The
think
narwhal.
there 100% is nods to that movie, and that's why.
Oh, for sure.
That's why I was getting
just
that
thought
energy.
It would have been funny
Yeah.
if they said that, and they didn't. So, Grinchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zoe Deschanel and Will Ferrell do a little duet to "Baby It's Cold Outside," and with that movie, we don't like that song anymore.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
that's canceled.
that song.
It's
We
an
don't
awful-
like that
it's
song. So
ridiculous
that
song.
that I didn't like. Okay, is that good, Sinclair? Are you happy?
Yeah, that's good. That's some good Christmas critical thinking. I like it.
Okay. I think that so there was a shirt that the father was wearing, that James Caan was wearing. His tie was really wide.
Oh my! Come on, Edison. There needs to be something.
There was some short shaming.
There was short shaming there.
There was short
There
shaming.
was some short.
Was
shaming.
there?
Yeah. The scene
Yeah.
with the author Mitch whatever, and then
Peter Dinklage.
Buddy comes in. He's like,
Edison.
an elf.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that scene. Yeah, but I just love Peter Dinklage, and he attacked Elf, and it was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, nothing for me. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
Loved it.
I know you're
Well,
gonna
don't
have
worry.
grinchy things to say about this
Yeah.
next movie. So
Yeah.
I need another drink.
Fill up your cups, ladies and gentlemen, to the brim.
No human being has ever set foot in Santa's workshop. That is until about 30 years ago, and as you may have guessed, that's where our story begins.
And now we head to 1996 to watch the quintessential average everyman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, try and bring home a Turbo Man doll for his son to open on Christmas morning. But good old Arnie, whose name in this movie is Howard, of course, left it to the last minute, and the Turbo Man doll is sold out everywhere. What ensues is truly one of the most grating movies I have ever seen. Jingle All the Way, directed by Brian Levant and co-starring Sinbad as Myron, Howard's mailman nemesis. Okay.
wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, Edison, what do you think this movie says about Christmas? First of all, I'm
okay.
sorry. First of all, what are we drinking for movie
Yeah.
number
What are we
3?
drinking for this?
Okay, so I was going to pour a rum nog, but I realized, okay, I've had a bottle of wine, 2 beers, and a cider. So I think
Edison, a whole
that,
bottle of wine?
Yeah, but it was a rosé. It was
Okay.
light. So I thought maybe like the egg nog element might have. So I'm just drinking straight rum.
Oh my God, same. With like a splash of eggnog. Just a splash.
Oh, twinsies.
Twinsies. What about you, Sinclair?
Well,
What do you got going
I
on over
topped
there?
up my Aperol spritz with more sparkling wine, so now it's more sparkling wine with a hint of Aperol.
Of Aperol. Okay.
Listen, I need to get this off my chest, and Helen, you touched on this
Okay.
in the intro. This is before we get into the freaking spirit of Christmas, meaning of Christmas, whatever. My major problem with this movie, and I think
Well, you're getting right into what made you grinchy already.
I need to get this off my chest. It's not
fine.
even my
That's
Grinch.
fine.
It's not even my
You
Grinch
could s-
moment. My Grinch moment
Oh,
is even
dear.
more. Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually not believable as a human being. who
course
exists
not.
in everyday society. That's the biggest problem with this film.
Who like
is that-
sells mattresses or something?
No, yeah,
Like,
it's
I
not
don't think
believable
so.
at all. It's not believable that Phil Hartman would attempt to fuck this man's
I
wife.
know.
There is no way unless he had a death wish. This man is
Yeah,
an
like,
actual
seriously.
fucking mountain
Terminator.
of a man. He is huge. No one's going to fuck with this guy.
No.
Also, when he has to go get the gift and he hears the Turbo Man is sold out, and Phil Hartman comes over and he's like, I got a Turbo Man under my tree right now. I was like, film over. That's the answer. You're a fucking tank, Howard.
Yeah.
Literally just like
Howard.
pick this man up by the scruff of his neck, move him aside, go over, bust a window, get the present. No one's going to fuck with you, dude.
Well, but the reindeer did.
The reindeer was the only one that was like, fuck this
Willing to go
guy.
up against him.
Animal instincts kicked in. But like, answer solved. Like, don't even go to the mall. Just go take this guy's gift. Like, fuck this guy. He's an ass.
But his kid isn't. Sinclair,
No,
the spirit
fuck
of
the kid.
Christmas.
He-
You're going to...
No. He's going to grow up to
To
be
be
like
fair-
his father.
Yeah. So you can write him off from the age of 8. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
okay.
stands no chance, honestly. He's essentially Northwest. Like, it just doesn't.
Oh my God.
No chance, sir.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh.
Okay,
So
well-
this is Christmas.
Okay, well, Edison, what did this have to say about Christmas in your opinion?
I mean, this film is a satirical take on the commercialization and consumerism associated with Christmas.
Is it satirical?
It's an attempt at being a satirical
Attempted
take.
satire.
This movie is attempting to explore the theme of like pressure and competition amongst parents to secure the hottest and most sought after toys during the holiday season. We remember this during Tickle Me
Oh,
Elmo.
yeah.
Furbies. I mean, for the people who are more my age, maybe do you remember 13 Dead End Drive, Sinclair?
The board game.
Yes.
That was a big game.
That was a big thing at Christmas that year.
It had like pop-ups and stuff, right?
Yeah, it had pop-ups and stuff. It
Yeah,
was
that
very
would
cool.
fall down and all
It was
these
my
different
first
tricks.
like gift that I can remember that was like this, and then Edwin jeans and lockups. Although lockups, I think were only a Nova Scotia thing, but you don't know what lockups are, do
No.
you?
No.
Aikida lockups.
No.
What's
They were
that?
jeans that didn't have a button. They had like a padlock that was
What?
attached to a chain that went to like
These are actual
back.
pants?
Yeah.
And you wore
Aikida
them?
lockups. Oh,
And
when
the
I was in grade 4,
pictures?
they were the hottest trend in the entire province
So
of Nova
wait,
Scotia.
did
Every
you
kid
have
had
to
to have them.
use a key?
Yeah, did they have a key or
Yes.
a code? Like a
No, it's a key.
so it was a chastity belt. Like it
I
was
guess
it was
so.
an actual chastity belt is what you're saying.
Actually.
Yeah, Aikida lockups.
Okay, awesome.
Did you
So
get it from your church?
Edison apparently wore a chastity belt when he was young, and okay, that's fine.
Anyway, so this film is kind of exploring the lengths to which people are going to go to fulfill the like societal expectations to meet their children's wishes. Mm-hmm. And it's a commentary on that, and it's deep and profound.
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
what? In the movie's fairness, this is a real thing, so it's real, and it's based. That's what the director and writers base this on.
Right.
So that's fair in the film's defense.
I just think that what this movie says about Christmas is you just need to do your shopping early.
I
Really, like-
100% agree, Helen. That was actually my note in this film.
Yeah.
Is that first of all, he's clearly like a higher up in the company that he works for, considering the fact that he works all the time. Once again, dad's
The
at work.
Mattress Emporium.
Yeah, it's like
Or
get your
whatever.
assistant to do it. Like there's so many ways that he could have acquired this toy from the very
Yeah.
beginning. Like, and also to his wife. Like, why would you trust him to put this in his hands? Like, your husband clearly can't do one task. Why wait till
Yeah.
Christmas Eve to check on if he's done it or not? Like, you got to check like 2 weeks prior and be like, did you do that? Probably not.
Absolutely. Rita Wilson's really phoning it in this movie, I
Oh,
have to say.
she phones it in.
It's just a paycheck.
It's bad.
She phones
It's
it in,
real
and I'm going to
bad.
save a comment until my Grinch part about Rita Wilson
Okay.
in this movie.
Well, one thing that did make me merry about this film is the scene when Rita Wilson, she plays Arnold's wife Liz, throws the drink at that schmarmy, creepy, awful neighbor Ted. That was a merry moment.
Yeah.
The merry moment for me was when this movie was over. That was happy for me. I kid you not, there was a point when I was watching this where I muted it and I just scrolled on my phone and I waited for a scene to be over because I could not listen to it any longer. I just muted it. I was like, I'm missing nothing.
Oh,
Literally nothing.
That was probably a moment of real poignant reflection.
Absolutely
on
not.
the part of one of the characters. You missed the entire meaning.
No.
Okay, well, I do need to
Christmas.
say that this has been an ongoing joke with us was how bad Jingle All the Way
Yeah.
is. And I do
Yeah.
need to shout out my dear friend Oliver, who I told we were doing this movie for a Christmas episode, and his response was, "That's my favorite Christmas movie." And I said,
Wow, that
and then
says
he said, "I'm
something.
going to listen to the podcast." And I was like, ah. So shout out to dear Oliver. There are fans of this movie out there. And I can
okay.
see why it would be a really great movie for a kid.
A 7-year-old. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, if you were like 7 or 8 years old, maybe, and you watched this, it probably would be really fun.
Yes. And it's
I'm
really
pretty
designed
sure-
for kids in the sense that there's these kind of
Yes.
zany shots. There's these odd close-up shots. There's no nuance in this film either.
At
Like
all.
it's very much everything is what it is. Lines
The
are
kid is a
being
hero
said.
climbing up the mountain.
Yes. Yeah.
It's about a fucking toy.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
a toy that kids would want for sure. Like they would want a Turbo Man toy.
Totally.
Well, I am quite certain I saw this movie in theaters with my father, and I hated it then. Okay? So,
And you would have been 6.
yeah. So, listen.
Okay, well you can
Not-
take
not
that
all
up with
kids.
Oliver. Yeah, so one thing that did make me merry about this film was Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
And Edison, you were just like, oh, the asshole neighbor, which I agree, but every line he said I loved.
Oh, God. I
loved
just
it.
wanted to just like, oh,
I'm sorry when
no.
he said this, and I quote, when he said, "I've been watching a family of deer down by Lake Minnetonka." I lost it. I was like, that's the best line in the film. Not since Purple Rain have I heard anyone successfully say a line with Lake Minnetonka in it, and Phil Hartman does it in this movie. And I'm sorry, the best scenes in this movie are with Phil Hartman because he brings out even the best lines in Arnold. Like Arnold going, "Put the cookie down" is the best, second best moment after Minnetonka in this film, in my opinion.
Put that cookie down now!
Okay, so what made us grinchy about the movie?
The whole thing. I hated this movie. I hated
Honestly,
the experience of watching it.
Same. Like, I watched it. I was the first of us to watch it.
Yeah.
One of us suggested
That's
it.
not
I don't
true.
even
I
remember.
saw it when I was 6. I just told you.
And so I watched this, and I was trying to really hold back because I did not want you all to not watch it. I was not going to be the only one to watch this in vain.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have a hot take here, and I'm going to say this is my favorite out of the 3 we've done
Of
in this
course.
special.
Stop
And
it,
it's not to be
Sinclair.
contrarian, but this
Yes,
one
it
actually
is.
made me laugh the most. This made me laugh more than Elf, for sure. Maybe partly because it's bad in so many ways, but I've actually talked about this movie way more than the other ones. There's certain like memorable lines in this movie that I've been quoting. So this is like clearly my favorite out of the 3,
Oh
for
my
sure.
God. You
And
are such a
it
contrarian.
also
I
got
get
me the
it.
most riled. Like in terms of texting about these movies, I texted about Jingle All the Way the most. It made me the most angry. It fired me up, which is
True.
more to say about White Christmas and Elf.
But like White Christmas is like lovely, and Elf is warm and lovely and funny.
No, I'm
This
taking
is-
Jingle All the Way, I think.
That, you can have it. That's fine. I don't want it.
Wow.
Okay, what? Okay, Helen says Grinchy everything. Edison, what
Yeah.
made you Grinchy? And you can't say everything. You have to pinpoint a moment.
What made this Grinchy for me was that there's actually just like no heart at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's no heart. Like if you can have all of these cliches. It's Christmas. Christmas is a giant Jesus fucking cliche. But I want heart. I want to actually care somehow.
It has no heart because Arnold Schwarzenegger is the lead, and that's not
know.
me being like, but he just can't carry this kind of movie.
But what about Kindergarten Cop?
To be honest, I've never seen it.
Kindergarten
so.
Cop is great. It's great. Well,
I haven't seen Kindergarten Cops in about 30 years, so please don't hold me accountable for that statement. But I feel like
Same.
maybe he was good to that.
well, yeah, and I think throughout this whole movie, you're saying, okay, well, Arnold has to be like when he actually gets into the Turbo Man outfit and he has that jetpack.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I can finally accept this a little bit because he has to be a superhero. He
Right.
only exists in sci-fi action. Like he just can't exist as a normal man. So once he gets in that turbo costume,
Yeah.
you're like, okay,
It all makes sense now.
it makes
yes.
sense. Okay, so my biggest Grinch moment is actually this film trying to have this Christmas message of don't need the gift. It's about the giving. No, fuck that. The child actually, little Jake Lloyd, he gives, after all of this, guy, after all of this movie, everything that's happened in this movie, he gives Sinbad the
Who
Turbo
tried
Man.
to kill him?
Not only did he try to kill him, Edison, he stalked his father for an entire day. He was a menace to society. He chased little Jake Lloyd up
He
a
blew up a
scaffolding.
radio
He
station.
blew up a radio station. He chases little Jake Lloyd up scaffolding. Jake Lloyd falls. He almost falls to his death. This child.
does.
His
He
father
almost
needs
meets
to
his demise.
activate a wonky jetpack to save his son. The camera flashes to Rita Wilson. Giving
Thank you.
the laziest performance, watching her child plummet to his death.
It's like she's looking at like she's at the grocery store and they're out of like the last carton of milk. She's like, oh,
Last carton of milk, and also
the
just like
reaction.
kind of looking at an air show.
yeah.
Just complete lazy, like your child
Yeah.
is falling to their death. So little Jake Lloyd almost dies. And then he says at the end, you can have this Turbo Man. And I thought to myself, fuck that. What is that teaching children? That somebody can go around and act like a complete asshole
Yeah.
and then be rewarded for
Try to
it
kill
at
you.
the end?
Oh.
And
I
he's
think
going to
it's-
go home and look like dad of the year after that day of chaos.
Yeah.
I think this is the spirit of Christmas.
No, in this
Maybe
case,
I'm
no,
coming
it's
around to
not
Jingle All the
okay.
Way.
In this case, it's
Well, but what
toxic.
about Jesus? What about maybe this film is a bit religious, and maybe it's about the like Christian narrative of forgiveness.
How this ends is not okay at all.
None of this movie is okay, and it's truly just so irritating to have to intake this movie. It's so loud and it's so annoying. This movie is so annoying.
Put down the cookie.
Put down the
It just-
cookie.
it's- Oh god.
Well, guys, we got through a Christmas episode without fighting or
No
crying.
fighting because none of us had like a real emotional attachment to these movies.
No,
Not like
not like the
you know,
Family Stone, which
not like the Family
we
Stone. Let's not
Probably
get into
shouldn't
it.
mention it.
No.
No.
But this has been our 7th Christmas special. That
I
means we've
know.
talked about 21 Christmas movies.
Can I
Yeah.
just say that I actually went through a list of Christmas movies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard for me to pick out one that we hadn't done yet on the podcast.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. But
That's how long
yeah,
we've
I
been
know.
doing this podcast, where I was like, have we
Yeah.
almost done every single Christmas movie that exists?
Not Die Hard.
We haven't done Die
Yeah,
Hard.
true. Okay, well, Merry Christmas from all of us here at Talk Movie TV, all 3 of us.
Very good, Helen.
I'm Helen.
Hi, Ms Sinclair.
Do I have to say all this stuff? I don't think so. Not for
I'm
Christmas.
Edison.
Okay.
Happy holidays.